Hello my Scrappy friends, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters and thank you for joining me for a Kitaholic Kits design team layout. Now this layout I started off with a little bit of mixed media, so I pulled out a whole bunch of blue sprays that were either from past kits or just out of my stash. And the first one I'm starting off with is the Distress Oxide in Faded Jeans. And I accidentally poured probably a little bit more than I needed onto my packaging to play around with the packaging technique. But all's well that ends well. The layout works out really nicely and I'm not too worried because I know that a big chunk of that mixed media is going to be covered. So I'm just smushing it all on, making sure it sort of fans out around the edges with the majority of it like quite heavy in the center because I know the center is going to be covered, so that works well for me. And what you're going to see is that sort of fanned out splooshy kind of image that's happening around the edge. I want a little bit of sort of color variation, so I next come in with the spray we got from last month's kit, which is the Lindy's Starburst Spray, and I add a little bit more to a new clean piece of packaging and just do the exact same technique. I'm a little bit more lighter handed with this spray than I was with the first one, and that beautiful shimmer and shine just comes straight away showing through. Now if anyone is looking at that sort of warping and bubbling paper and wondering about that, that's really common with mixed media when you're adding a lot of liquid to a page, and in this case it's particularly common because I'm using a ridiculously thin piece of paper. Definitely would not be the kind of paper I recommend for using for mixed media. It is so super thin. It's like that free piece of paper that comes inside the Kaisercraft albums. Really terrible quality in terms of scrapbook creating, but it was what I had to work on, so that's what I was going with. I am then coming in with some splatters, and I'm using two Dina Wakley sprays to do my splatters, and one is Mineral and one is Sky. Now these are also from past kits. Such beautiful subtle little colors, just adding a few little splatters in a variation there. I then decided that wasn't enough sparkle and shine and color as well, so finally I come in with the Delusions Shimmer Spray in Vibrant Turquoise. And the reason for this is A, it just adds another little bit of shimmer, and B, it's just a slight color variation to all of that blue that's going on, and that's going to really pick up that sort of teal or turquoise color that's coming into the pattern paper I'm about to use. So these are all the sprays that I used in the reverse order of using them. So the two with the packaging technique are on your right, and then the other three we use with splatters. This has had time to dry. You can absolutely iron it or put it through a laminator or something like that to help sort of flatten out that warping a little bit. To be honest, I didn't bother. I know I'm covering a big chunk of this paper. You're not really going to notice. I'm not worried about it. But if it is something that upsets you, definitely put it through a laminator, like just by itself to sort of flatten it out, or put it under your iron. But for me, I knew I had this gigantic cut file that I created, so I wasn't worried about it. This is just a super simple cut file made from a really common quote, super easy. I've seen it around a lot, but I often see it for girls. I don't have girls, I've got boys, so I just changed it to say he. And yeah, just whipped that up in the Silhouette Design Studio. So I then backed it all in that same color, which is of course the color I used to put the frame around my paper. Now, you might be wondering why I kept this footage in, and I don't really know. You can see that it has for some reason gone out of focus. Now, I didn't know this because I didn't check. I just continued to film, and when I was making this video later on and looked at my raw footage, it is all out of focus. So no, it is not your eyes, and yes, it is ridiculous that I've kept this in, and I'm sorry if it gives you a headache. Please turn away now. But I quickly made my clusters, my 3 clusters, and created my finished layout. I am going to jump right now to photos of my finished layout because no one wants to see any more of this blurry craziness. I'm so sorry, there is 40 seconds of your life you will never get back. But this is my finished layout. It is super simple but super fun. I included the little badge that he got from the doctor and then 3 simple little clusters on the page, and I've done some close-up photos of each 3 cluster just so you can see how it is, and then a final photo of the finished layout at the end just to remind you. I hope you have enjoyed this process video. I'm sorry if I gave you a headache. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.